now I've been on the ecig for quite a while. I knew I was going through TSA. I knew I was going into Mexico, which technically has an import ban on the ecigs. They can confiscate them. So I was a bit worried. What if I go and it gets taken along the route? And it was pretty cool. I got through TSA without a problem. I, of course, double-checked myself. I had some liquid batteries, atomizers in my checked baggage. I also had it in my carry-on, just in case either one would go. I would still have something around. And I sailed right through. Nobody gave me a problem, which was great. Did I use it on the plane? Well, in the bathroom, for me, if I were to decide to have used it, it worked out pretty quick. Or just teetering with it, my black pen, my black e-cig, which looks like a pen, and just sitting there in my window seat and having a little bit of an inhale and then not exhaling right away, just holding it in there, not being obvious. I guess that's a big thing. What is the fact of the matter right now as far as the airline industry goes? This has been around 7 years internationally, so there are some rules and regulations imposed by the European airlines. Simply put, they've banned it on board the airlines because it makes smokers want to smoke and all these other weird things, but I'm not going to get into that in this particular YouTube. You can check that out if you want. United States, you haven't seen too much. You do have some idiots out there who'll get on an airplane and just start puffing on this thing in front of everybody, and if you're looking for trouble, that's a good way to do it. But for those of you traveling, this is one of those things where if you're careful about it and you're not rude, you don't try to mess around with other people, it's kind of cool. So got through Mexico, got through back internationally, everything was cool there. Okay, cleaning, I clean it once a week. I get that question quite a bit, as far as cleaning. The batteries are really easy. It's a lifesaver. I did also notice that changing my climates for 1 week, and I was in a hotter, more humid climate. I did notice that I had a little bit more residue, more buildup in the e-cig. This has become my new best friend. Of course, why can't I think of the name of this? What is this new weird thing? The Q-tip. All right, there's a blonde moment. All right, and all you simply do is I just clean it like that, and there's dirt on there right now that you do see, and that's pretty common. Why it's important to clean this? It's important to clean this, important to clean your charger and the atomizer. This portion right here, this is very easy to do. You can just take a napkin, whatever it is, because voltage goes through these two things. You have your positive and negative voltage. The dirtier there are, the less amount of voltage that goes through, and what does that equal for you? Not as much vapor, so that's not a good thing. That is something that you do want to keep out on. All right, everybody, I'm way over on my time. I'll talk to you on some of my other videos. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, I know I'm way over on my time, but I just figured out I got to split it up on YouTube anyways, as I was way over on that. Last 2 points that I did want to make before I finish off this 8-month review that you do have right there is one of the things is, hey, I've noticed that I have just a wee bit more gas, and as a guy, who knew? I was wondering whether that had to do with e-cigs. I'm not sure still if it does or not, but recently I did look into that, and that's kind of a funny thing to research. But most of our gas usually comes 80% from oxygen that we do swallow. So I can kind of see that as far as when you're inhaling one of these, you are inhaling oxygen essentially that does go obviously, as we know, in the lungs and that, but I don't know, it might have something there. And here's another tidbit that I did learn, everybody, and this is something that I did want to extend to all of you, and that is, of course, nicotine. I get a lot of questions about nicotine. First thing that I do want to say about nicotine, and this is nicotine is addictive, it's toxic, it can constrict blood flow, raise one's heart rate and blood pressure. So that is one thing to know. We all know that. Nicotine in its individual form will do all of that for you. So a lot of people ask me that. If you do go to a medical professional, commonly they will probably tell you that it is very similar to caffeine in some of the ways of how it affects the heart, and some of that, it is something to talk to your doctor about, just to know. But here's something that I didn't know, and I wanted to extend that out to you guys to check out. I had that the One Health video that I did do, and pretty much what I told you was go and check it out yourself. Don't believe everything you see on YouTube, and of course just on the internet, and that's more what I mean. That's why, just so you know, my real grin about that is why I started all these videos, is there was so much weird information and misinformation out there. I started these videos. As far as what I want to tell you right now is, Nicotine, back in 2004, the LA Times was one of the very first things that I did notice on that. Nicotine has been linked now as far as they're doing studies for the potential treatment of Alzheimer's, of course, Parkinson, some other depression illnesses. So that's very interesting to look at. Again, I'm not telling you nicotine is good. I would never expect anybody who, hasn't been smoking cigarettes for a long time like what we're doing here to say, hey, pick up nicotine. It might help you out. But what I am showing is some of the differences. And it was very clear in this article. It's very clear in a lot of things of it's not reported often because, of course, nicotine is vilified as it's always associated with tobacco cigarettes. So it's something that is not always really known in the general public. So here's what I'm telling you to do right now. If you're using e-cigs, of course, propylene glycol, the base liquid that's used in there, some of you may have done your research, done your homework, gone on Google, really dug deeper than the very first media thing that you see, looked at the 1940 study that was done that it's actually compared to as a germicide, which is kind of neat. But let's look at this one too. Just Google Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, nicotine, and see what pops up. Only, of course, go to the reputable channels. You should be pretty easy to figure that out. But that's it for now, everybody. My next video that I'm actually going to do is a bit about e-liquid. I do have a lot of questions about that, about e-liquid reviews, e-liquid more in general, so I'm going to follow up with that one. I'll see you soon.